Hello, vinyl community. These records belong to Tim, and this is a beer in an intriguing koozie. Let's talk about records. I've been a little busy, as some of you may know, those of you on Facebook. I went to Texas recently. There was a little bit of a thing, couple bands playing. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good trip overall. A lot of records. Got to hang out with some of the vinyl community members that came down, which was awesome. You guys are all amazing, and I love you very deeply. And I didn't get to hang out with them for too long because sadly I was working through the entire festival, making taking a few pictures, doing a few things, wandering around. So I was kind of on the go the whole time, so I didn't get to hang out with everybody that I wanted to. But those of you who were here this year, you all are awesome people and you're great. And those of you who couldn't make it should try and make it next year. And if you can't make it next year, you should try and make it the year after. Went down with John of Reverberation Records, my friend and sometimes employer. We went down on we left for Waco on Wednesday. We have folks in Waco, and on our way down, somebody gave us a call. One of them gave us a call and said, "Hey, I heard about this guy who has like a 10,000 record dump, and you should go check him out." And so we set up a meeting, and on Thursday morning, we went on a kind of huge dig in this guy's workshop. He just kind of buys up lots of records that people have and sends them out sells them on Amazon, I believe. So I don't know, you might have bought something from this guy if you bought something from Waco, Texas before. But it was a huge, amazing, like big dig. And we probably blew through 90% of what he had there in the span of 2 hours. I'm kind of an okay speed digger, but nothing compares to John's ability to blow through records. That guy is a machine. I got my speed digging chops upgraded during that whole situation. And we ended up pulling probably at least 150 or 200 different records. I didn't really get anything for myself because I'm not really a used record hunter. I'm much more into hunting them for other people. It's not that I have anything against used records. I have plenty of used records. It's just that there's so much new that's coming out at any given time that I just end up blowing through my budget. So I thought I'd start going through that stack with some of the stuff that I actually got at the festival from merch tables. I didn't buy a whole lot of vinyl from merch tables because we ended up hitting End of an Ear and Waterloo right before the festival kind of got going, and I found a ton of stuff I'd been looking for that I can't really get for various reasons right there. Anyway, I picked up a bunch of stuff that I was looking for, and kind of the great thing about that festival is they bring in a huge amount of international acts that never really make it here due to visa issues and money and that kind of thing. This year and this time around, they did manage to bring a lot of merch just because a lot of those bands are actually eventually going to get them released through the group that puts on the festival, the Reverberation Appreciation Society. And so I ended up picking up 2 records that I didn't even think I'd ever be able to get, or at least one of which I didn't think I'd ever be able to get. That one there is the Wall of Death full length. They're awesome. They're fantastic. They are a 12-string guitar, various keyboards, and a drummer, and they have kind of a really amazing mix of kind of gothic vocal harmonies with sort of heavy rock or maybe some of the more blues-based rock. And they're great. They're from France. And I'd heard that came out on CD, but I didn't even know it was going to get pressed to vinyl. I was, crossing my fingers and hoping that it would get pressed to vinyl, and it turns out it did get pressed to vinyl. And one thing that they kind of tell you is that on the front here it says, for a more beautiful cover, cut all the geometric shapes with the picture of the flower, use the plan opposite, and you'll see another image. Which, at least, you know, because I have a graphic design background, that kind of says, oh, they wanted to die cut this cover, but die cutting costs a fortune, and so, you know, get out a utility knife and do that. I'm sort of debating as to whether or not I want to get a utility knife out and kind of cut out the appropriate shapes. I may actually do it, particularly because the cover's a little dinged up, but we'll have to see. If I do that, I'll show you guys. And then secondly, the second record I picked up is from Singapore Sling, and I mean, they're a band that I would buy all of their records if they're reissued. I mean, they put them out on vinyl, but they're all like $37 records from Europe. In fact, this one here was a $37 record from Europe until I could pick it up at their merch table. And I guess, you know, again, this one's going to get released in the US eventually. But for now, it's just a UK release, and I managed to get it for 20 instead of 37, so I didn't have to pay shipping. And it's this kind of cool, like, gatefold thing, which is neat. And it's also on orange vinyl, which is pretty sweet as well. So, orange vinyl, Singapore Sling. They're from Iceland. They sound a bit like if somebody made a band around the noise parts of Sister Ray. Like, their first couple of records, the singer in interviews said, you know, I didn't really know how to play guitar, and so it was all like basic chord progressions, and then for the solos he just makes noise. And that's not bad at all. I mean, they're really fantastic. Like, they were a band of my summer last year. I listened to them all the time. I still like them a lot. I'm really happy I could get that on vinyl. And then finally, if I can find it here, last thing I grabbed was the one of the two 7-inches put out by Al Cisneros of Ohm. This is the second one. This is the Levitation dub one. And I mean, I'm gonna level with you. If you're like a casual Ohm fan, or you're not a really big Ohm fan, don't sweat this release and the previous one. I'm gonna try and find a copy of the previous one. Don't do what Donnie Don't did and find like copies around the record store and then say, oh, they're gonna have more on the merch table, it'll be fine, because they're not gonna have more on the merch table. I only got this one. And so I still have to find the first one. But if you're a casual Ohm fan, or if you're not an Ohm fan, it's not a good introduction. Both sides are essentially the same. It's sort of kind of murky noodling over a drum loop. If you're a really huge Ohm fan, then it's really interesting, because I knew that they were getting into more dub stuff, and I thought to myself, oh, you know, cool, they're going to be like Dub Trio or something like that, where they're going to be making, you know, hardcore Lee Perry type stuff. And I mean, after reading some interviews with the band and that kind of thing, and listening to this, it's obvious to me that, much to my delight, you know, they know they're not Lee Perry, and this is Ohm doing their interpretation of Jamaican dub, which is really cool. But, you know, I mean, it's also not really a mind blower outside of the context of, you know, if this is a direction they're going, then their next album is going to be just amazing. When I saw them play at the Psych Fest, they didn't really play a whole lot of dub jams that I can remember, or it wasn't really, it was mostly album tracks. And I mean, one thing that was really cool to me also was that it wasn't just the core two members of the band. It was the guy who is also recording as Likens, who you might know, or who Chicago people might know from 90 Day Men, with Brian Case of Disappears and the Ponies, 6 Degrees of Chicago bands. But I guess he played tambura on their last record, and he's just sort of become a third member of the band now. And what he was doing is kind of a lot of auxiliary percussion, along with playing all the string parts and playing all the kind of more, I guess, everything that wasn't either bass or drums. via what I would assume were samples. And I mean, so it was sort of fascinating to me because it was a little bit like Ohm plus a Mellotron. If you can wrap your head around that. So if you haven't seen them live and you dig what they do, you should totally see them live because it's really fantastic. And I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of happy that they're touring with lichens now instead of just like, I don't know, getting a string quartet or something, because you know, having that kind of keyboard and sample based sound style is really kind of an interesting twist on what they were doing on the record. And I mean, I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really different. So that's the three ones that I picked up actually at the festival. Subsequent videos are going to cover the 982 records I picked up at a lot of at the other record stores in Austin, and then previous to that, I haven't even covered my record store day stuff, which was insane too. But I guess I decided I was going to jump in feet first and then sort of work backwards because I guess the ones that I picked up at the festival seemed most immediate to me. So good luck and love you all, and you're all beautiful people, and I'll catch you on Facebook and such, and I will be making more videos from now on. So stay tuned, and peace, love, and rock and roll.